All right, the Atlanta Falcons at the Tennessee Titans. Holy friggin' under here. This total, you don't see this very often in the NFL. 35.5. I don't think it's supposed to be bad weather in Nashville. I mean, it's like nice right now. It's like North Carolina and Nashville's not that far west of here. I mean, it is. It's like 80 degrees outside. Maybe it's supposed to pour down rain. I think it's more of a byproduct of these two offense. This is like a Mike Vrabel, Arthur Smith fever dream, RJ, with two just teams that they're going to just have Bijan Robinson and Derrick Henry run into each other over and over again. And let's let that, that can just be how this whole thing shakes up. Actually, I'll throw to you, Alex, and said, because you actually have a Bijan Robinson prop after Arthur Smith completely hosed everyone in America by not playing Bijan until the very end of the game, therefore guaranteeing that his unders would cash.
Inexplicable, Brinson, inexplicable. But yeah, I'm going to go back to Bijan Robinson. Not that I backed him last week, but just can't help a big discount here, getting his rushing line of 48.5 yards. He's going to be fresh, obviously, coming into this game. No wear and tear from last week. I just really think everyone, as far as their camp is concerned, are calling for more Bijan. This matchup sets up nicely. I know Tennessee's defense early in the season were very stout. They haven't been nearly as stout. I think a lot of that was reputation-based. Teams have been running on them much more efficiently over the last few weeks. Atlanta's also the type of team that will try and run on anyone, even a good run defense. So, yeah, I think Bijan getting him at 48.5 yards, I think he's a very, very likely candidate to get 13 to 15 carries in this game. If we look at the game environment as well, it's hard for me to imagine Atlanta trailing by double digits and going pass heavy. I just really think this sets up for a ton of rushing volume. I'd be very surprised, barring injury, of course, if Bijan doesn't get at least 15 rushing attempts and at only 48.5 yards. To me, this is my favorite prop so far on the board this week.
Yeah, tough rush defense, though. I mean, they're 7th in rush and run defense, and I know they've been a little bit shaky hitting time to time. 28th in pass defense. So you really want to attack them with the pass, especially now that they traded Byard away. It looks like they're selling. So I think that's kind of what you want to do. And now suddenly Atlanta is better with the pass. 400-plus yards, 3 straight on offense. Ritter finally playing well on the road last week, which was interesting. The one thing he had issues with was fumbles, 3 fumbles inside the red zone. I mean, they really dominated Tampa in that game. It should have been a blowout, and it was a very close game, kind of unlucky in that sense. Atlanta's defense, 4th in yards per play, 3rd on 3rd down, and 5th in the red zone. No one has scored more than 24 points on them, and I don't think a Tennessee offense starting Will Levis is going to be the one to break that stretch there. So with a murky quarterback situation where he might not even play all of the game, Malik Willis may factor in. Tennessee's offense can run the ball, but they're awful in a lot of other things, and I think that's kind of where the scoring, the low totals comes from, the disbelief in the Tennessee offense. I think Atlanta might be able to get some points here. So because the total's so low, I might look to the over on Atlanta's team total. I think it's around 18.5 right now, 19.5. But Tennessee doesn't allow a ton of points either, and Atlanta is finding ways not to get into the end zone, even though their offense is playing well. So probably a stay away. Line says it should be pick 'em, but I'm worried about Tennessee's level of effort after trading away Byard. So maybe just a lean to the Falcons here.
Yeah, that Byard thing definitely gives me a little cause for pause. But here's the thing. I'm taking the Titans as a dog here, and I think they win the game outright. They're plus, I'm getting 2.5 at home. Arthur Smith came from Tennessee. He tried. You look at the Falcons, I've been saying this since the preseason. I mean, he basically tried to build a version of the Titans in Atlanta, centered around a top prospect in terms of the rushing attack. You've got the alpha receivers that you don't really use enough, like A.J. Brown was in Tennessee. And you've got this quarterback who can be efficient. You're not really sure if he's good, but he's, Desmond, he just finds ways to win in theory, right? That's what he's trying to do. The problem here is the quarterback, of course, Malik Willis and Will Levis. That is, Mike Vrabel hadn't committed to either one. It's an extremely concerning setup with those guys, but Willis can get loose with his legs at least. I like the Falcons a ton, but I think this is one where Mike Vrabel just finds a way to get back into his old offensive coordinator and steal a win.
Before you move on, I'll say if you do like the Titans and you have it at +2.5, this has to be a teaser. You have to put them in a teaser because the total is so low that it should be. It's just a lot,
good point.
Not much variance there. You're not going to lose that game by 9 very often. So get them in the teaser. Get it up above the 7, and you should be good to go if you like Tennessee.
That's actually a really good point because both the Titans and the Falcons are. And again, I think Arthur Smith wanted to build a team like the Tennessee Titans, and those two teams, it's going to come down to 1 or 2 plays every single week where somebody's kicking a field goal late to try and win it, and I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to see either of these teams blowing each other out. So I like that idea with the teaser.